she's back for some more abuse, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been telling her about my how do I put this? My off the beaten path things. Now, there's other things that may or may not develop. This is the ups and downs that comes with, being a freelancer. Is like right this minute, it sucks. Now, here's the thing: I have this thing called rent, so I'm gonna have to be a
What?
responsible. I know this thing called rent.
What
I
is
have to be
that?
responsible. I have to be a responsible adult. So what I did this month, I can't do next month. So I have to actually make sure I have some kind of income coming in. Now, as I told Shani, I have currently, as it stands, 2 job interviews. One on Tuesday, Labor Day. It's for a remote gig for a podcast, being a producer there. Because I got, ironically, I don't know if you've been watching anything I've been on. I've been putting them on Instagram too. Is the videos I've been putting up is what got me the my foot in the door there.
There you are. I haven't been doing anything online. I've been very present in the physical world, the physical life, if you would.
I kind of envy that a little bit. I like kind of having that freedom to kind of go back and forth. What I want is that nice balance of me creating stuff and doing some physical things. I actually miss working out, which is kind of a weird thing.
It just, your body wants to move. It's not that weird.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
it's not at like there's a cost for me to not be present online, right? But I have chosen to pay that cost to get my life in order before I go back and play the online game.
See, that was the other thing too. I noticed that you've been avoiding LinkedIn.
I really have. I know as soon as I look at it, I'll be like, I need to respond to this. Days go by and I haven't gotten up, and I can't look at it.
So what is it about? See, LinkedIn's actually where I hit the most breakthrough. It's like the videos I post. You can see the little reels on my Instagram account. If you really want to watch all of them, I'm putting up another one as soon as we're done.
Your audio's cut out. I still can't hear you. Hi, everybody. These are the technical difficulties. My name is Shani. I'm the art bard. I do art stuff. I haven't been recently.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, hello. Welcome back. Yes.
Okay, cool. I don't know what the hell happened there. That was just like Mike just said, nope.
Not doing it.
Yep.
I'm sleepy tonight. No.
I intimidated with fear or something like that. No, I have things. I have responsibilities for people, so I have to make sure there's regular. Now, I don't need a shit ton of money. That's the other thing too. I don't need a shit ton of money from the outside. I do seem to be doing okay enough on my own but I still need some kind of, income guaranteed, because in the event that my shit does bounce, like, well, you know what? My landlord decides not to hideously beat me with a taser or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that'd be a fun story to come back with. Hey, Shani, I got tased. Tell me more. And then I got kicked out. Tell me less.
Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, I have been. So one of my girlfriends took one of those big cattle prods and just like shot my leg with one of those like things.
Stinky.
Leg goes numb. Leg just goes numb. That's just what happens there. It just goes, not moving. This is what's happening here. I'm just not moving. Yeah.
I have never been tased, nor do I foresee that in my near future.
No, you don't want that. It's not one of those like things. On a to-do list of things on a to-do list is not fun. My whole what? Yeah,
I was considering it, but no.
Nah. It's like up there getting shot. I mean, movies sometimes make it seem glamorous, but it's not. It's not.
You pee yourself doing that. Okay.
You can't. It depends. The reaction varies. It depends on how you assimilate shock, because some people it can be like, oh my god, like their whole body, they lose full control. That's a natural reaction. That's why you just got a major trauma. Some people, it's like, I've seen people not really flinch. That's a little scary. It's like,
they don't even know they've been shot yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They'll feel it, but they don't know.
Yeah. It's all in how you like handle pain, and everybody does that a little differently, or right. So it's one of those like honest looks at things. So, all of which to say is like it's not something you need to find out what
Not
kind of
grammar.
person you are, right? Right. How do you react to this kind of stimulation? You don't, for the most
That's
part.
not really the test you want to take. You don't need that test to reveal your character.
I might be taking that test probably in like a year from now. Like when because did I tell you what I'm going to do with my van? Like,
no, are you about to get shot?
Shot at. So this is the terrible idea I had, and it's really fun. Now, if I'm doing this, I really have ice cream. So what I'm going to do is imagine a Mystery Machine van with my logo, with a regular horn and a horn that blurts out ice cream music.
But you will have ice cream, right?
Yeah, of course I will.
Okay. It'd just be weird. People running up with money, and you're like, "Sorry, I don't have ice cream," and they're like,
"No, they might shoot me. Like they might legitimately shoot me. Like that's not for two reasons. Like I had an expectation, I didn't fulfill it, and I'm being an asshole about it, right?"
They ran with their pocket change. They fished out of the couch in like half a second. They ran out there. They don't even have their shoes on, and it's a gravelly road. Yeah. Don't make them do that.
No. You don't do that. You don't do that prank if there's no ice cream. Right.
So are you actually planning this? You're gonna have a mystery mobile slash ice cream van?
Hey, listen. I haven't considered like an ice cream as a business thing. I thought this is more of a thing to amuse myself, to see if I can get grown ass people to run after me.
Oh right? Yeah, well that's a given. That will happen.
Yeah. But that's like a personal amusement thing, right? But sure. If I'm going to, again, this is the thing I've learned in life. If you're going to make a promise, you must deliver the promise. Right?
Word is your bond. My family had an ice cream business.
Yeah.
Back in Florida. And then 9/11 happened, and I come from a brown family, so I know I'm very white, but they didn't really buy from us after that.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just ice cream's a thing. Like, people like their ice cream. Listen, we're entering some weird apocalyptic times, right? In some strange ways. I'm sure, right? So, but there are going to be some universal constants. You don't fuck with people's ice cream. You just don't.
Ice cream is a constant, and the consequence, like, don't fuck with it, is a very close second constant.
Yeah. Well, seriously, I actually think you'd actually get like the meanest, nastiest people on the planet. It's like, they would have sympathy. Like, why are you beating this guy? Because he promised me ice cream and he didn't have any. And what did you do? And then they would test the horn and hear the ice cream music and be like, "Oh, that asshole."
Yeah, right? Let me have some. And then they freeze your body and unfreeze it, and then they scoop you into their ice cream cone, and they have their ice cream anyways.
That's a little dark.
I'm an artist. This is imagination.
It's a little dark, though. I mean.
Oh, so now you're an art know-it-all. You know what art should be. If I want to freeze my cannibalism, I will.
Listen, I'm not trying to fight you on your particular flavor of ice cream. It's all ice cream at the end of the day. But if I can say, listen, but that doesn't mean I can't say it's from a matter of taste. It's a little dark for my taste. I mean, that's a dark.
Your taste, okay, but not objectively. Okay.
Oh, you just reminded me of something today. So my motivation for Friday was like judge nobody else for whatever race they're on, and this is important right now because the important thing for what I do is I keep working at what I'm doing. And I say it like that because that like it's when you feels like nothing's happening, it's like the worst. But again, you have to build your bell curve, right? And that's just how it works. So I was playing. Like, you can't compare your race to anybody else's because I don't know what your bumps in the road are. I don't know what my bumps in the road are. Right? You don't know, right? And where I am right now doesn't mean I'm going to stay there tomorrow. In fact, chances are I won't. I'll be doing other things, right? So what it comes to, so then in that particular case, then I would do it like this. Then, so I said that, and then someone came on there, and something I kind of disagreed with, because it just, my whole approach to actually doing this of all things is actually kind of, I think, shits on the whole idea. And she made a comment. I completely agree with you, right? You shouldn't judge how everybody else is. But she meant something about like statistical analysis of when you go to Harvard or you go to a classroom. It's better to be the head of the class for learning comfort's sake than just the type of school you go to. And then she kind of went and talked about, like, writers shouldn't necessarily want to be the head of the class. So it was kind of a weird little analogy. But I've spent my whole life, especially doing this, I'm usually the one that I am the least practiced of the people usually I'm drawing with. And I found
Yeah.
that being the quote unquote the worst student is actually the best spot to be in, because you have the ability to, again, if you can check your ego at the door, this is the real thing. Ego and expectations are really what this comes down to. But if you can check your ego at the door, here's the thing. You can learn from everybody you meet then, because you are the worst student. And if you approach everything like you are the worst student, you can learn from anybody. And that's a very good approach to learn. And I showed Shani this. So this year, I have drawn with some pretty famous people, and almost every single person on the Drink and Draw has more practice at their craft than I do. Yet here I am with this. How did I get there? This. I was the worst student. I still am possibly the worst student more often than not on the stream. Worst, by the way, is in quotation marks. Right? Very right. But I have learned that if you're with people who are better than you at something, you actually, if you're willing to benefit from that, I can learn from this. And say I want to compete with this, you suddenly have a huge advantage of the potential knowledge you can acquire in those moments. I think it's actually because I've been the best student in the class and I've been the worst student in the class. And when you're the best student in the class, it's the hardest thing to do is to learn, because
I feel like there's definitely a difference in how we're rating best and worst student and just being like a student, period. Like, you can be good at what you do, but just keep having the mindset of learning more. And that's really where our breakthroughs in creativity come in, because you're learning more, you're bringing in knowledge from different fields. It's giving you a fresh perspective, and you can channel that into your craft of choice. So like, best student, worst student, just so long as you're a student and you're willing to keep expanding your horizons and learning and talking to people, you'll be fine.
Well, no, that's the thing though. That was the thing that made me kind of laugh about it, because I'm using worst in quotation marks, because really, right, I'm using it in quotation marks. That like, your grade standing, or you're standing in a classroom, like let's say you're the first valedictorian in your class. Did I just freeze?
No.
Did I just freeze? Fine. Okay, cool. Like, you're the valedictorian of the class, and what happens there though is, okay, that's great, but I mean, and that's an accomplishment, right? But assuming everybody works as hard as you, like, all anyone can really do at the end of the day is be the best version of themselves. That's it.
Yeah.
If I'm in a room of 100 people, and I have, say, 10 people that are better, that have a better average than me than what I do, it's not right, but I've done everything I possibly can, then there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, it's not that important, honestly. The thing that I have found clients and bosses care about is one thing. Did you show up and do your shit? And were you accountable when you fucked up? That's, at the end of the day, that's what every job is about.
Well, like, I just finished the EMT course, and that's a whole other conversation. But like, I like being the best student. I kind of have a Hermione complex. And I'm also really bad at taking tests. However, so I understand the material. You ask me a scenario, you ask me in class, you ask me to lead. I can do all these things. You put me in front of a test, and it's going to take me forever, and I will not get the best grades. Other people did really great on their tests. Out of the 12 people that we had in the class, only 5 of them passed, and only 3 of them have a job right now as EMTs. And it had nothing to do with the test scores. It had nothing to do with how great of a student you were, just with like, did you understand the material correctly, and can you apply that to the job, to the field? And this is just my way of adding to your conversation here, but the classroom setting, any kind of like learning environment, it is what you're saying. Be the best version of you with the new knowledge that you can be. If your personality isn't one that can adapt and integrate that information and then move forward with it, it doesn't really matter what you learn.
Yeah.
Be a good student.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. It doesn't matter. So it's funny because I like and that well she took it one step further. It's like this is your opinion, and I'm sure he's got like a knowledge base on it. It's like, well, no, it's from my experience. My very first exposure with illustration, honestly, was like years ago. I took Scott McCloud's comics class as a writer. I was the worst student. It wasn't like this wasn't like a debate. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
But I was there for a very different reason than everybody else that was there, though. I was there because understanding it from an illustrator's point of view is a good thing for me to have, even if I do suck.
Yeah.
That's not the point. I'm now getting a bigger insight into how to tell a better story with comics from one of the best teachers in the biz. Hey, Anita.
Hey, hey.
Right. So that's the thing. I had that. I stunk. Like, I'm not even remotely going to debate that. I stunk. But everybody knew and everybody understood. It's like but here's the irony, right? I'm the only one that's got any credits, and that's hilarious. Right?
You're the only one who what?
I'm the only one that actually, I think, took anything out of that course and actually used it to get published. And that's hilarious to me because, right?
Yeah. Well,
right?
You were using it to expand your toolbox, right? And they were using it to get deeper into what they already knew. But that just because like you know more about that one subject doesn't mean that one subject is going to be everything you need to get you where you need to go.
Oh, exactly. And again, for everybody else, and also the same token, right? So, like I said, she argued this with me. I said, I'll tell you what, why don't you go look at my drinking draws? Like, you can actually see my quantifiable, like, it's not like an anecdotal evidence because I've done a ton of these shows.
Yeah, right.
So you can see the names of the people I've done with these shows, and you can watch the improvement. And the end result is I've made money doing this. Right? So, yeah, I don't really think I'm anecdotal anymore. But if you want to look, be my guest. And if you don't, it's funny. Like it's just funny. Like perception and expectations. Like your expectations and it's everything. And I said this as thing. I'm not humble in business. I'm bold in business.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to learning a craft, I'm very humble because I don't know everything. In fact, someday I wonder if I know anything. I think that's actually the other thing.
Which is the place you want to be in when you're trying to absorb everything. You know, empty your cup before you go in to learn any of it.
Yeah. Like you might have some ideas for sure. And you can definitely and this is where being like really advanced in something has its advantages. You can ask deeper questions. And that's the real and so there is a definite that's a hard balance as a teacher too, because like someone that actually like I would take a nutrition course. Right now, I'd have to unlearn some of the stuff that I had learned growing up because I was around it so much. I have a very unorthodox approach to it. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to actually like unlearn some stuff to do it. Could I check my ego enough to do that? On the same token, I can ask deeper questions about certain things now because I am aware of that knowledge. So there's an advantage to it,
mm-hmm.
but there's a disadvantage to it too. It's like, yeah, I know something. Yes, I do. But do I? Again, can I take a step backwards and go, okay, you know what? I can be I think the lifelong student mentality when you pursue art of any kind, actually, not just drawing, but writing, music, all that stuff.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Heck, even your job, EMT, right? I mean, if it, I realize there are days you probably don't ever want to see it, but there's opportunities even with all the knowledge that's out there. You're like, hey, I can look shit up now and try some stuff, right?
If
Not
I'm
necessarily.
allowed, yes.
Well, I wouldn't say on your patients per se.
Right.
On your right on your patients, but you, yeah, I could definitely see it. Mad scientist type would come in.
I'm gonna go for paramedic in the future, the next step up.
Yeah,
And then I'll be able to do some wacky things, but I don't want to. You know, keep it simple. That's a whole other conversation. But yes, mad scientist. I've already been like using a lot of what I've learned, or the like what we're talking about, right? You expand the breadth of your knowledge and your interests, and then that will translate through your craft. And I've found like anytime I learn something new, that presents itself in my art. And so I have translated a lot of what I've learned into my art. It's a totally different feel, a vibe, like focus, the depictions. When I'm looking at a scene, what am I looking at, right? That's the job of any storyteller, to direct the eye and the attention of the viewer. And so like what I'm looking at in the scene now changes, and the voice of the art changes. And I'm finding that really fascinating. And it's because I've broadened my interest here.
That's what happened to me in my writing, actually, when I did the drawing stuff, was because it's like now I got a perspective I didn't have before, and it added something to it. Like I said, I am half tempted. I am half tempted to um I am half tempted, like there is a part of me that wishes education wasn't so goddamn expensive, because um I like honestly, I think it like, but even so, I still might do this too. The other thing I may do in between all my crazy travels, take a course every once in a while here and there, and just
Yeah.
something completely different, something completely outside my comfort. That's the other thing I've also learned too is if I put myself outside of my comfort zone, I might really hate the thing at the end. That is the risk, but I also have the potential to learn the most.
Yeah. And you kind of see who you are and who you're not, right?
Yeah,
Even if
exactly.
you don't like it, you know, hey, that didn't work for me. And that's a part of yourself that you never would have known existed.
Yeah.
Learning reveals who you are.
And what you choose to learn, and the steps you're going to make to learn, and the ability to like that ability to go out there and put yourself in those situations. So it's one of those things I've learned very, very, very much. Oh, by the way, so let's see, the other thing I got to tell you is my first Kickstarter, if all goes to plan, God only knows, but if it all goes to plan, is probably going to be out sometime in the first 3 months of next year. I've already spoken to 2 artists for variant covers on something. And
Yes.
not the thing you're thinking of, actually. I don't think.
Not Alice one.
Not Alice One. No, Alice One's not going to have any variants. That's
Not
going to
the
be
the
not the novel. No, it's not the novel. It's not the graphic novel. I actually realized I had something in my database I can actually do first. That would actually be great. And it's actually almost done.
okay.
I have a Dr. Seuss Golden Storybook. It's kind of sitting in a spot that no one. It needs to be lettered still, but besides that, it's done. So I've been quite. I did Dr. Seuss Golden Storybook style thing.
What are you talking about? A Dr. Seuss.
So you remember?
A book that's golden?
So you know the Dr. Seuss, what those books look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of made one, kind of, sort of. I actually made a
You made
comic.
a Seussian comic book.
Kind of.
Okay.
It's called the Stick Figure Revolution. It's about stick figures who revolt against their creative, making them look like less than the rest of the world. You're laughing already.
And you're doing it Sue style.
Yeah. Because I wanted to break my brain. Because I wanted. It's literally an A-B the whole way.
Oh my God. And it's gonna be so whimsical, and it's a revolution.
Yes.
You're killing me, kid.
Why am I killing you?
Oh, because it's out of left field, dude. I say as I point to the right.
Well, I don't. I think in all the episodes that you've talked to me, have I ever done it? I do it my way. I don't do it like.
Oh yeah, no, it's not what I like. I expect you to do this kind of stuff, but when you present the idea to me, it's like, there it is. Okay.
And here's the thing, from a story fundamental point of view, it makes sense. You can do it.
Yeah. I'd be worried if you told me the story and I'm like, I don't get it, but I get it. And it like, that's a credit to you. The fact that it could be so fucking weird and like, but I get it, dude.
I don't think it's that weird. I just think you got to give somebody. See, here's the thing. There's a balance between what you expect and what you don't. So I'm like, so what if I did a revolutionary style story, right? So what if I did Paradise Lost as a concept, as a Dr. Seuss story? Like, what would that look like? And that's the thing, right? It's so
yeah. You're taking
right?
something that you know and you just put like a tiny spin on it and it's yours. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's art
Yeah,
in general. Like
that
like
is
as
still
a
like an artist.
concept. As a concept, that's like we don't reinvent the wheel.
No, there's no such thing as originality. It's just how you look at things.
Ooh, so slight push. No, there's not like the 7 big ideas don't get changed.
Right.
But within those 7 big ideas, there's tons of room to go anywhere, right?
Right.
Yeah. So and that's what the originality is. So like will I reinvent the wheel and tell a story a brand new way? No, I'm not trying to. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have fun with it. Right? Trying to have fun with it. Yeah.
Well, that's what like I had been saying earlier with like the job of the crafters to point the eyes in the right direction to lead the attention, right? Because any perspective that you have is going to be a unique perspective. Like if anybody could be looking at the same scene, but they're all looking at different directions, and then they get back to you with different information, but it's still the same scene. And that's like the 7 big ideas. It exists. We're all looking at it, but we're looking in different places. And that's the importance of stories, to tell people what they didn't see, what they didn't notice.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing, right? You're not how do I put this? It's knowing which part of the wheels you're actually reinventing. So I have this all ready to go. So I approached 2 artists that I really, really like, right? One I'm always worried that she'll take my lunch money someday. There's actually if I ever go to the same con as her. Oh no, she's got she's got like one of those, like, you see her picture. She does she does the greatest scowl I've ever seen. The first time I saw it. Oh no, you can't even close. You see the picture, she's so good at it. Right? The first time I saw it with her, it's like, so are you gonna take my lunch money? I'll give you my lunch money. Just don't look at me like that. So this has elaborated into a joke. So if I do beat her at a con, what's gonna happen is it's actually gonna be a picture of her shaking me down. Okay. So that's the first part of the joke, right? But I live in Canada. So when she shakes me down, she gets Canadian money.
It still spends at Starbucks, so you're fine.
Yeah. No, just like, so she gets to scowl at me twice. Like, she scowls at me, shaking me down. She looks at my money, and then she scowls at me again. I'm on the ground.
It's worth it.
Oh, no.
That's funny.
See, I'm telling you a really fun story there, and it works. And she's silly enough as a person that she do it, right? So
I want to draw that.
You want to draw that?
I want to see a picture of that, and then I want to draw it.
I figure you want to watch the video of that shakedown.
Okay, I'll do that too.
Yeah.
And then I need to make art out of it.
I have
Let there
inspired
be
people.
art.
I have inspired people to make wonderful, wonderful art out of my pain and misery.
That is all art is, brah. Okay.
It's not pain and no, it's not. It's
No,
unicorn.
it's taking Josh's lunch money.
Oh, it's taking my lunch money. That's art. Okay. Taking my lunch money is art. Okay. That's a
It kind of looks like you have a unicorn horn.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, like if you just center it a bit more. Now sit up a little bit and more. There's the unicorn horn. That's it.
I'm a unicorn. It's all good. That might be the highlight for the episode. So that might be. I don't know yet.
That.
But no, I like that's like going full circle before we get into the drawing of the stuff. Oh, speaking of which, so have you been working on your little novel you've laid out on the floor?
Yes.
Are you happy with it?
Yes. I'm loving the progress.
She's dancing, kind of dancing.
You know how long I've been working on this? Ever. I put it on the floor. I take my whole binders of ideas and I put them on cut pieces of paper that I'll never use again, and I rearrange it onto the cardboard. I'm like, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, that there. And I keep doing that. And it's been sitting there the whole freaking EMT course so that I have to go back to it when I'm done with the course. I have to step over this every day. There's thumbtacks everywhere, dude. It is a hazard. I cannot turn off the light and walk between. No. It is my hazard. And until I deal with it, it will be on the floor. And I have dealt with it. And I have put everything where it belongs. And I've started all the little details of the first fucking book of it, okay? And then yesterday, I took those little details and I put it into a comic narrative, the way that you do when you put together any comic strip. You start with the dialogue and then you add in the visuals. And I did that today and yesterday, and I started drawing the first page today. Boom.
Cool.
And that's what I'm going to be working on.
Okay, so then on that note, then
that big ass note, yeah.
There's two things I kind of want to know.
Okay.
So there's one not so serious one, although I imagine this happened at least once.
Yes, I stepped on so many fucking thumbtacks.
Yep.
Yeah.
That because the way you said that made me think, there's a bit of experience in that.
Oh,
there's a bit
my feet hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, again, it's an interesting thing. I'm just no judgment, no comment, right? Just like you woke up. I can imagine it was either when you wake up or when you're about to go sleep and you're really tired. All of a sudden, you just step on one, and then there's just a giant F-bomb coming out of your mouth because it just hurt.
Yep.
Like a
mother. This is my own fault.
Yeah, that's like you're swearing, but you're like, okay, I deserve this.
Yep. Until I deal with this is the cross I must bear.
Yes. There you are. Yes. No, I get it.
So that was the first one, and then the second question.
Mr.
Unicorn.
So you answered you said you answered the voice of experience. So, all right. So you sound like you're finally like really moving. So do you feel then, before we go really into this, that everything you're doing right now is fitting all the wonderful purposes that is Shani right now?
Indeed. This wouldn't work if things weren't falling into place. I would still be pushing that rock uphill, and it feels like it is pushing itself. Like the job is rolling along. My energy is where it needs to be, and I'm not like freaking bored. I feel motivated. And I think that's a big tell as to how well things are working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. No, like I said, like I right now, like, I mean, in comparison, I have been kind of in this like weird, like last couple of weeks been like because August was a tough month for me. Like for whatever reason, August is just slow freelancing for me. I don't know why exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's also one of those things where I'm looking at it honestly and going, maybe I'll have to pivot, right? And it's a possibility because it's not going the way I envisioned it would go, or maybe I have to make an adjustment somewhere. I don't know, right?
Well,
So
you're getting clients, right? It's just not the
yeah,
clients you want.
I've gotten some clients for sure, but at the same time, it's been an interesting. Again, it's been an up and down, up and down. So I'm not like walking away from it yet or anything like that, just yet.
But the
But
fact
I'm
that
like,
you've had,
pardon?
sorry, go on.
But it's more like I have to. But okay, but when you let's say for the sake of argument, I don't get another client this month, just for the sake of argument, right? Now I don't think now there are things I've definitely done that have definitely helped out for sure, right? But let's say we get to October and I don't get anything, right? Hypothetically, okay.
Are we drawing right now?
Yes, I'm drawing right now. Yeah.
Let me do the thing real quick. I'm listening.
So then the question becomes, doing everything, which for now is yes. It's definitely yes. Right? So the second thing is, then is this the right time to do this? Or should I pivot short term and try to find something else? Right? It's an honest question, right? I just one of those things where I just go like, okay, did this go according to the way I wanted it to go? Am I doing something right? Am I doing it right? Doing it wrong? Do I need to be patient? Like, what's a fair time for something like this? You know what I mean?
I would say it's been a minute since I've been in this game, right? But it's like the more iterations, trials, and errors you can do where you change just one factor at a time, the more feedback and results you can get. Thus, until you get the machine that you want that works on its own, there should be a change always, but a controlled variable, not like 10 changes at a time, because then you don't know what works. But like if you just change one thing and you keep changing one thing until everything works, you get there. But that only happens in the timeline that you want if it happens quickly.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised if you're running into issues, right? That's feedback.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's part of the process. It's part of the process. That's the other thing too. It's really, really part of the process. And I also know deep down on the inside, I cannot. I don't have the mentality, I think, anymore it has to be a very unique kind of job for me to have the mentality to do it full time. Right? Just the way it is. Yeah.
I'm listening.
So I have to it just so happens like I got a possible job with a short term as a laborer, but it's going to depend on what the job is, because if it's a full-time gig, I have to say no.
Yeah. You know, knowing what you need, right? And it could be a seasonal thing, so long as you know I'm going to work 80 hours these next 2 weeks, right? So that I have enough money saved up so that I can do a big push.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Right? Right. I could do it temporarily, but I can't do it full time. And also, like I said, I have a job interview Tuesday. So it's like, okay, we'll see. And
the job interview is for your freelance or for your
it's a podcast production job. Like it's
right.
something like it's everything I do. Like it makes more sense to go that right. It makes more sense for me to go in that direction. And in October, if all goes to plan, I'll be starting to do mass testing on a game in development.
Can you talk at all about the game?
What? it's a card game for the time being. So it's got a bit. It's essentially, the only thing I can say about it really is it's a battle poker kind of game.
A battle poker.
Yes. So it combines magic cards with poker mechanics.
I think you had been talking about this last time.
Yes. So theoretically speaking, like I said, I was approached to see if I could market the game. I understand the game because I play the game. I have a good games background because these are the kind of games I play, and I know the audiences. I know the audiences for it. Right. So it's one of those things where no, I kind of have a sense of what will and won't work just based on my game experience. Now it doesn't completely apply because there's a poker aspect to this as well. But at the same time, I know what his audience, or the target audience, wants to be. That's something that's pretty made clear to me. So I kind of already know what needs to be done from the game perspective, what needs to be done from the world building perspective, and in turn, what else needs to be done in the testing perspective, right? Because the other thing, this is the other big part of like any business, it's your bell curve. You gotta actually make a bell curve for your business.
Yeah.
Right. How many people does it take to speak to get a client? Right.
And that bell curve is going to change the more successes you have.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's also going to come with like some challenges as well, right? But in terms of selling a product, how many people do you need to speak to in order to get someone to buy your product? Okay. For everybody, that's a different answer, right?
Right.
But it's an important part of the process. Authors don't usually have the luxury of going to that. Could you, like, one of the things about being an author is, okay, we don't often do that bell curve for ourselves, not to the way we should, right? If you can actually it's breaking down your sales into a number. How many people do you speak to get a sale? Right? How many people does it take? Let's say it takes, let's say for one book to sell, you have to speak to 50 people. Right? Then sell 1,000 of those books. You must talk to 50,000 people somehow, some way. To sell 10,000 of those books, you have to talk to 500,000 people.
And so on and so on. Of course, you can change those numbers by defining who your audience is. And like, there's a whole bunch of work here that goes into making those numbers more in your favor.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But the important thing is that you're making those numbers happen. You know what I mean? And one of the reasons, like, we look at traditional publishing, why it takes 2 years to create a book, bring a book to market, is you're building that. You got to make that bell curve. Right. That's the advantage of traditional, in that, is that basically they have the ability. Now, they don't always do this. I look at I'm watching some of the Big Five trials with the Department of Justice, and their comments about marketing are yikes. That's all I'm going to say. It's just yikes.
Yep.
What? Like, that's not what I want to hear from a Big Five publishing house, right? It's not what I want to hear. But, you know, it's one of those situations where, I'm going to go be right back. I use the bathroom, but it's one of those situations where you realize that that's why that process should, in theory, take so long. You have so much to build before you release that product, and once you've built that, like, proof of concept, it gets easier. But you got to build the proof of concept first.
Yeah, and like when I was like really actively looking for clients, it was a whole conversation that I had planned to have, that like, before we get started on any of this, how are you building your audience right now? Do you know who your audience is? Because it's going to take like a year or so to put together, and that's a great time to build your audience. How are you doing that?
Yep.
Go use the bathroom. Run.
I'll be right back. bathroom calls. Feel free to talk about whatever you want for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm working on the opening pages for my graphic novel. I'm using Clip Studio Paint right now, which is a great program for folks on a budget. They've got a free version and they've got a cheaper version, and I believe you only pay one time. I haven't had to pay more than once. They also have an animation feature for anybody who's interested in that, which is way more affordable than some of your other programs out there, like Cartoon Boom and whatnot. And the cool thing about Clip Studio Paint is that they have like a whole webtoon or comic presets, so they do a lot of the hard work for you. You can tell them how many pages you want, and they'll create a whole file with like, hey, you want 30 a comic like this? Cool, we got you. So this is the opening page, and if you've ever read any of Scott McCloud's About Comics works, he goes into the idea of like your dialogue, your narrative. It tells one story, and then your visuals can tell another, or they can tell the same story, or one could tell the whole story while the other tells the whole different story. So it could be like the visuals are telling the whole story while it's a silent comic. There is no narrative. Or it could be the other way around. The visuals are the same, and it's like it's a whole narrative. Or it could be a bit of both. So it's really like you could tell multiple stories at once. You could have a narrative telling one story, the pictures telling another story, and within those pictures is another story happening. You have 3 stories going on. So the opening of the comic starts with a narrative that is telling one story while the visuals are telling the backstory. So the narrative is based in the present, whereas the visuals are filling in a millennia worth of information. And that's really difficult to do because I'm trying to do that within 31 pages. How do I fill the audience in on a millennia's worth of information in 31 pages to a high sci-fi, high fantasy world? One of the things that Scott McCloud had emphasized was like, you can tell your story in 9 images, but can you tell it in 6? Can you tell it in 3? If you can tell the same story in 3 images, do that, right? That is the mark of a really skilled artist. But it also, how many images you use goes into the pacing of the reader. I should probably draw some stuff while I'm talking. So yeah, if I want to spend more time or have the reader spend more time on a moment, I might create 3 panels. Or if I want them to hurry up on that moment, I might do the same story in 3 panels. And that's really the power of comics. You get to control how quickly your viewer goes from one image to the next. And I think you don't have that same power when it comes to writing a book, as opposed to feeding. Like, it takes time for the eye to travel across the page, and you can slow down how quickly the eye goes. And in that way, you can. It's almost cinematic. You control what image comes up next and how quickly that image arrives. And I'm kind of rambling right now, so I'm going to do some art. So right now we have Earth hung up in the beam of sun. It's supposed to set the tone, right? This is obviously a fantasy, a sci-fi, and this is going to be a social commentary story. So I'm going to start the commentary with Earth as a whole. And then the sci-fi is about to happen now. We're just going to have our mix of antagonists coming onto Earth here. Hi, welcome back.
I know that.
I hope y'all have all enjoyed that little ramble. Hi, Josh.
Hello. How goes?
All right.
What'd you ramble about?
A lot of what Scott McCloud talks about, and how I'm opening up this comic, why the image looks the way it does, what's going on here, and how I'm trying to pace that out. And
Okay.
basically, yeah.
So,
And
so
Clip
you know what
Studio
you're doing
Paint.
or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Okay.
Sort
Gotcha.
of a crafter. Yeah, I was just going on about Dust in a Sunbeam, that Carl Sagan quote from Voyager. Did I drop audio?
No, that was me. That was me. I had a little moment here.
Oh,
And I
no
want to
worries.
make sure. I want to make sure that I realize something. Oh, there it goes. It goes the way it wants to go now. How do I sound in comparison?
You sound good.
Yeah,
You sound great.
great, as in super great, 100% great. So yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, no, like in terms of building an audience, like that's a big. Like it depends on what you want to do. Like there is a small, like one of the other things I ran into today was I got to talk to a college this week about doing their social media.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like the kind of clientele you want.
Exactly. But the thing is that it's what I try to convince them. I'll see if I actually get a phone call or not on this. Is what you're not like the courses you offer. And something that colleges need to understand too. Unless you're very specialized, I mean very specialized, it's not really about the courses you offer anymore because when it comes to knowledge, like we have hit the YouTube University era of things, you know. It's the experience of going to college, making people welcome, making connections, lifelong friends, that kind of stuff, right? That's going to draw people more in because that's something you can offer at college. It's the only thing a college can really offer, right? Because from a knowledge standpoint, there's no longer an advantage in the traditional way anymore, right?
Yeah, how much it costs.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to deal with it. Like you're dealing with that concept, then you know it's kind of one of those. Well, you got to deal with this. So
Yeah, talk about pivoting.
yeah, they have to, right?
Yeah.
Or they're like colleges are so expensive that I mean, I heard Biden forgave a whole bunch of student debt. I haven't really looked into full detail of what that entailed.
Yeah.
But it doesn't solve the problem that you're making education cost so much.
Yeah. Without raising any income.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proportionally, we're talking about.
Yeah. Like I mean, you want to watch? I mean, I saw a college professor say this. So it used to be they would pay to train you.
Like
really
businesses and whatnot.
Yeah, they would pay to train you. Now you are paying to be trained by a business who may not hire you.
Yep.
That's fucked up.
I mean, it really depends on where you go. I think there's a whole idea that you need to be educated before you go into a job, and that might, like, yeah, sure, but there's also like entry level work, and if you get entry level, then they can start paying for your education. But it's like so many people don't know who they are, what they want to do by the time they hit college. So it's like, unless you know what that part about you, that self-discovery, unless you already have that down, you're really beholden to the job that you went entry level into to give you that experience.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Like, all right, like it makes in one real way, it makes zero sense to do it this way anymore, and we all know this. So, but that problem is not being dealt with. So, what I'm expecting I honestly expect a lot of colleges to go broke, actually. Not
Well,
everything.
don't
Well, no,
tell
I
that to
do.
your clients.
No, I
No.
won't. But that's reality you gotta face, right? That's reality you gotta face. You have to offer something so good that I cannot get on the interwebs, right? So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what it is. We'll see what
Yeah,
it is.
I think you have a real point with the whole they need to emphasize the fact that it's kind of an experience in which you're
Yes.
getting to know people, right?
Yeah.
And discovering more about you. Of course, that is
That's great.
understated. The college
Yeah.
experience.
Like I have some really fun ideas what I'd want to do with like different kind of students coming in, because there's a lot of potentially fun stories you can do there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. But you got to be willing to do those stories, and we'll see. We
Well,
will
have
see.
you been looking at what college advertisements are like nowadays? Because a lot of it has been look at the look on this person's face when they receive their diploma. This is just
Yeah.
average Joe with 2.5 kids, and they're doing the whole American dream. And look at this, how this diploma affects them, right?
Yeah,
And they're
but
so happy about it.
yeah, because they realize that's what they got. Right? They realize that's what they got. That's what a
Hmm.
college can offer. Still, that the internet cannot.
Right. It's the emotional aspect.
Yeah, it's the experience. The experience. What is your college experience like? Because that is a once in a lifetime thing, or in theory. Although like I said, I don't know about you, but I've gone back to school multiple times since.
Yeah, I mean, I got my degree in agriculture. I am an EMT now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was through reschooling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm coming from with the whole people go to school and they don't quite know what they want to do yet, or that changes, right?
Well, it's gonna, especially in the nature of the world. Like, we don't live. Again, the other part about it too is we don't live in a world anymore where people just stay in one position their whole lives.
Right.
It doesn't exist anymore. So it's the other aspect about the education system is you got this idea that you're going to get this job that's going to be great for life, and that isn't true. Like, I could have stayed at my last job still. I'd be making really good money, kind of, sort of. I'd be making okay money, not good money, okay money, right?
Yeah. What were you doing before you went into freelance?
Pure later courier. I was in shipping receiving. I was making $24 an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it didn't make your heart sing.
What?
It didn't make your heart sing. You were
Oh
over
god,
it.
I was bored. I was bored for years.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those situations where it was like I was bored, and because shipping and receiving is easy to me. It's really easy to me. It's just you read an address. Can you read an address?
Yeah. Some people
Right?
are made for that, you know.
Oh yeah, totally. And it's again, the beautiful thing about that job, and the reason why I stuck with it for as long as I did, was its flexibility, because I was always trying to do this some way or another. But the magic moment of it's going to work out for me, right, is what I have striven for a very long time. But I didn't know how to do that when I was at Pure Layer. It's when I walked away from it that I actually had to force myself to learn how.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Make it real. Make it a real change that you have to commit to.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I mean, that so since we talked, a buddy of mine went to bat, asked, like I said, for a laborer job. And there's a part of me, it's like, nope. Right? But well, I'll hear it out, because again, I do have responsibilities. But It's that right. If it's temporary, I'll think about it.
Well, it's not like you're right. A lot of people would see it as giving up on one for the other, and to be able to say yes to the laborer job is a emphasis of the commitment that you have to freelancing. If you were really walking away from it, you wouldn't consider the laborer job. You'd consider something that would give you the stability in the long term rather than something that holds you over until your freelance gig kicks back in.
Well, that's pretty much it, right? But I gotta make sure.
Yeah.
But the challenge is always then at that point, time and money, right? I need a certain degree of money to come out of my pocket. That's just the way it is, right? So now I don't need a full-time gig. That's the thing. I don't need a full-time gig at all, right? That's a wonderful spot to be in. But at the same time, right now, so that means if I do get something part-time, right? Now there's part of me, it's like I don't necessarily want to just burn bridges, right? So there's a part of me that's like, you can do one more month of this if you absolutely had to. So, yeah, I could, but I have again, I do have certain responsibilities I want to take care of. So this is just adult shit. So I gotta take care of their responsibilities. Okay, I'll take care of those responsibilities. Right? I have people I owe money to. I want to pay because I'm a man of my word, and so I have to consider, it's like, okay, maybe right now taking a job short term is the right idea, and it is. It's just like I have to do it. But now I'm trying to find something that's like, can I find something that can adjust to my schedule? Because if I can do that, right? Nah, that's the challenge. That's why I don't want a full-time gig. Even if, let's say we do 80 hours in 2 weeks, okay? That might sound, it's doable. And if I absolutely must do it, I could definitely do it. But at the end of that 80 hours in 2 weeks, I've put myself behind a little bit on the momentum I've built with the freelancing. Even if I go part-time, right, on it, I've lost momentum, right?
Yeah.
So I have to, again, now, even if I was working 20 hours a week, I'd still be losing a little momentum, but wouldn't be as bad because I'd be coming in, I could still do something every day. But if I'm putting 8, 10, 12 hours somewhere, like I can't do anything, right? Or at least not very much.
And momentum really is the secret sauce here. A lot of people are like, how do I get this going? I just want the results and I'm putting in this work, but I'm not doing it every day. Why is this not working? I'm not doing it every day because it's not working. I'm getting so frustrated. It's like that because you need momentum and the momentum builds on itself. So it is an everyday task.
That's right. It's one of those situations is you have to make these things your discipline. That's just the way it is. Like there's no magic ingredient to this, folks. It's like, this is it. You want to do this, then you got to put the work in every single day, right? So that's why I want a part-time gig. Also, I mean, I am making money on it. So like I said, there's part of me, it's like, I'm going to go on I hope the podcast thing works out, because the podcast thing is right. Even though that might be quote unquote a more, that's a client-based gig. I can potentially, I can potentially do some fun stuff and still maintain my freelance schedule and try to get more clients, right? So I'm trying to maximize my time and make more money. And some people might go, well, you might be asking for too much. I don't think so.
I mean, too much is like, what are you willing to commit, right? You'll figure out if it's too much. But so long as you're willing to do it and it doesn't like harm you,
that's it.
That's just part of the deal that you make in having your own business.
Yeah,
it's going to be too much sometimes until you figure out the right balance.
Yeah, Exactly. So I have to play. Now again, that's just life. You have to, and that's what makes, again, why do people make it versus why do people don't? Is people stopped often before they hit those magic points.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's just the way it goes. You get all the help you can. You build all the things you need, but that takes time. And I kind of want to do it. I'm trying to get there as fast as I can, obviously, because I see next year on the horizon. It's like, woo, more established I am now, the better it'll be next year. But
yeah, and that's like you're always one dig away from the next big breakthrough. It's kind of the gambler's addiction, but also if like you didn't have that personality trait, it wouldn't matter because like you don't know where you're going to be in a year. But if you don't do anything, if you don't have that trait that says keep on going, just one more, you're not going to get anywhere.
that's it. That's everything. There's no such, and that's just life. Okay, I'm not doing that right. Link is kicking my ass here. Okay, let's try. Let's try this. That'll be fun.
I think I don't want to go with the mint green color. Maybe something. I mean, it's supposed to be stellar, so kind of like an ultraviolet green.
Ultraviolet. You can go actually fuchsia. Sounds
You
like
think
a little.
so?
Depending on what you're going for. I don't know what the image is actually saying, but you can act like the cool thing about an interstellar kind of feel is you can kind of do like a rainbow kaleidoscope, whatever the case may be. Right?
Oh, fuck, he's right. I should I could go rainbow kaleidoscope. Now I'm going to.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, I mean,
Now
make it colorful, right?
To the Google machine. Rainbow kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, kind of like the sun beams through or something. A prism overlay. There we go.
Yeah.
Hi everybody. Welcome to the art process.
Yes, this is why these drinks and draws are so cool. Like, and you can tell a story a myriad of different ways. A color scheme for an interstellar thing. Okay. So when in doubt, make really cool rainbows in space.
Exactly. They're supposed to be like celestial beings, right? Interstellar celestial beings.
That's right.
So let's do that then.
Yeah, don't mess with the process. Make it all about the interstellar rainbows and unicorns that fart them out.
Amen. Amen, brother.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so you.
I almost sound like I know what I'm doing. Don't
almost
tell anybody. Don't
yeah,
tell
no.
anybody.
As soon as you know what you're doing, you're gonna realize you don't. So just avoid that realization and skip that whole process and accept that you don't know what you're doing. You writ large, not you, Josh.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, rainbow celestial beings. Meanwhile, I'm drawing one of my favorite characters, and I'm going to make that the basis for the. I actually got a cool little image of the Ocarina of Time. One of my favorite scenes is actually in the first part of the game when the big mighty tree dies.
In Link or Zelda?
Yeah, in the Ocarina of Time.
I suppose I never got into that. My mistake. Go ahead, chew me out.
No, I'm not gonna chew you out. Listen, we all know I am deliberately uncool. It's good to know that you are.
That's fine.
But first level in the game, you have to go inside the tree and fight the monsters trying to rot the tree from the inside out. Unfortunately, by the time you do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He dies anyway.
Wow, isn't that just a symbol for life? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, symbols actually. So this game's a bit of a time travel game. So 7 years later, you go back to the forest and you destroy the great evil inside the forest. When you do that, a new tree sprouts. He's like the cutest thing ever, too.
Like Groot or something?
Cuter than Groot.
That's not possible.
Yes, it is.
You're being silly right now.
Hey, you have not watched it. You can't cock. You're not cool. You're not cool.
He's finally said it. Shani is not cool.
You're not cool, Shani. You can't argue with something unless you've seen it.
All right, I'm just saying, like, it's hard to beat Groot.
It is hard, but it's been done.
Take my word on this, Shani. You don't know, okay?
You're like, I don't wanna.
I mean,
it's like, I don't want to take your word on this. I think you're lying to me. It's like, no, I'm not. Trust me.
I'm not entirely sure on this, Josh.
Quiet, you. What are you?
Sorry.
What are you? So uncool. So uncool. Down.
Story my
now,
life, boo-boo.
Yeah. It's okay. I have been deliberately uncool. Like I said, as my motivation earlier, it's not a race. Doesn't matter what it looks like from the outside in. What matters is that whatever you're doing the best you can.
Or at least doing.
I have a little bit of philosophy. Like, okay, if you're having fun, you're just having fun. It's a little different. But what I've learned is, if you're gonna go in on something, you go in on something. Like it's not a question, right? You're in. There's no you can't half-ass anything. Because if you half-ass something, you're gonna actually ruin it. Not just for if you have anybody with you, but yourself too. Because you'll never know how good it could have been. So don't screw around.
Yeah, do yourself the credit of like giving it your all when you can, right? But like 100% all the time is exhausting. Like if you don't have the energy to brush your teeth all the way twice a day, brushing your teeth part way in the morning is still better than not doing it.
See, see now that's what we're talking about with 100% now. We're talking about I'm going to give my absolute 110%. Okay, well, that is difficult. I can't say I don't come out every day and bat about 100% all the time. I can't do it. And nor, as far as I know, can anybody. Right? But if 100% of your best day is like, you know what, today I'm just going to brush my teeth and I'm going to go back to bed and I'm going to read. That's the best I can do today. Okay, that's the best you can do today. If the next day it's going to be, I'm going to have, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do the most like incredible thing ever. And I do the most incredible thing ever. We don't have the same 100% every day. But
right.
We just don't. We don't have that
just
ability.
Go out there though.
But that is 100% though. If you're looking at 100% from your absolute, It's about doing your absolute best in that moment. That doesn't mean your absolute best is going to be like amazing every single time. It's not. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The important thing is stepping up to the plate, and taking the swing. The thing is, you owe yourself that thing. It's like, if the best you can do is, I'm going to take this swing, and it's going to be 2,000 miles an hour. Should be 2,000 miles an hour, but let's say it is.
That'd be amazing.
And the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, I can barely lift the damn bat. But you know what? I got it. I'm here. Bring it, ball. I'm kicking your candy ass.
Right.
Yeah. Right. That's it. Like, people assume people assume the very, very, very best, right? Right. People assume like your very, very, very best is going to be like this magical experience. No, no. It's not that it's going to be a magical experience. It's your very best is, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do my thing. Some days I do it better. Some days I do it worse. But today, all days, I'm still going to try everything
and
I
I
got.
am here.
Right? That's it. That's all I can ask of you. That's all I'm going to get some days. And some days I'm going to look at you, it's like, why'd you even get out of bed? Oh, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. But like, I see that. I see some. So, for the first time in my life, I have drawn a tree with a porn stash.
Oh, are you showing your art right now?
Not yet. Not possibly.
Okay.
Possible.
See, if you didn't show up for this, you wouldn't have drawn that tree with a porn stash.
That's right.
Yeah. It's the
There have
little
been
things.
no porn stashes.
And that would have been a travesty.
Yes. I mean, I broke Shani's brain once today already.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to remember. My brain is too broken to remember.
Stick figures.
Stick figures, fuck.
See, I broke your brain.
Man. I had this very brief thought of like what I have heard storytellers say. Like you just said you broke my brain, right? And then you gave me the stick figures, and I'm like, geez, stories are just so fun to write, right? I can't wait to get
do you want to see
one done. What?
You want to see? Look up.
Sure. Hold on. That looks like a porn stash.
That is a porn stash.
You should be proud. You should be so proud right now.
I am. I feel like vindicated. So it's either breaking your brain with like the unicorn thing, or it's like I showed Shani my porn stash. That, like, I don't know, like, which is a better headline to you?
Everybody watch this video. The porn stashes come out. Everybody watch this video. Unicorns exist. Everybody watch this video. Unicorns, porn stashes.
Yes.
That is all.
That is all. Unicorns or porn stashes. You decide. Actually, real truth though, it's actually like the tree I'm drawing. That is kind of what he looks like in the game.
What you're saying is your art is improving?
Yes.
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 Okay. All right.
I'm a paid professional now. I mean, or something to that effect, right? So I've done it.
I knew you could.
Oh, I knew I could too. I never expected it. Though. One of those moments in life where you're just like, huh, I've done this.
Me of all people? Okay. If you say so.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I can do it. I can do it. Why aren't you doing it? That's kind of my thing now.
Yeah, no, I think this is gonna work. Like I do the EMT thing, and I draw and make the rest of it on the side. And I'm not thinking about clients these days. I'm thinking about just putting my art out there, my stories out there, and like make the first book or so available, or at least first chapter available online for people to read. And if they're interested, they can go to my Patreon. And then through my social media accounts, I like give snippets of progress shots and that kind of stuff, and try to get people into the Patreon.
So you're gonna do Patreon, okay? So no Kickstarter for your comic?
Well, at some point, the Patreon will bleed into a Kickstarter.
Okay.
But I'd like to be paid while I'm doing it, rather than spend a lot of time trying to, like, it's a whole marketing thing with Kickstarter.
Big
But
time.
yeah, if I have the Patreon there, then I'm going to be making this regardless of if people pay me. So ideally, if the Patreon's already there, they would be the first people that I market the Kickstarter to.
Okay. Sounds like you got a plan. That's all that matters.
Thank you.
You sound like you know what you're not doing. I don't know if you know what you're doing yet, but you know what you're not.
And these are important distinctions.
It's like, I know what I'm not doing. Hey man, there's value in that. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm not.
There you go.
I'm almost smart and stuff. Almost.
This one sort of looks like Celestial Kaleidoscope.
Let's take a look here.
I gotta add more burn to it, but I would say ish.
It's getting there. It's got something to it.
It's going in that direction.
Yeah.
Overlay. Nope.
My colored pencil stash on a second here.
Nope.
Here I am working on Colors of the Rainbow.
Okay, we're getting there. We are getting there. Hi, everybody who may be watching this. I imagine you're listening. If you notice that there's silence, it's because we're drawing. So right. I would recommend that you watch.
That's right. We almost know what we're doing. Almost.
I'm sort of a professional.
She might be more professional than I am. I'm not entirely.
I was listening to the audiobook Profit First. Have you ever read it or listened to it?
No.
Well, he gets into the concept of like profit is profit so long as it does what you need it to do. So many people think of profit as like millions of dollars, and like, yeah, that is a profit. But also, if your needs are met and you have hit your goals, then anything more than that, any money that you put aside and label profit, no matter the amount, is profit, right? And yep. I think the same could be said with like being a professional in anything. I'm a professional if my skills are doing what I need them to do. Please excuse the kids in the background.
That's okay.
They are having a great time.
I can tell.
What was I saying?
They are being creative and stuff.
Oh yes. So like when it comes, we were just saying like we're professionals, right? Right now, I'm not getting paid to make art, so it might not seem like I am a professional, but my art does what I need it to do, and that it like the tool that I have, the craft that I've made, it fulfills what I need of it. And how can you get more professional than that? Aside from, I guess, being paid.
I have been paid. Na, 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 na.
So he is a professional.
I am. That's it, man. That there's only one rule about this. Were you paid for this? Cool. I don't care how you did it.
Are you paying for this?
If it's that's the rule. That's my rule. If you've been paid, I don't need to know. Right? I don't need to worry about it. You got this. You know what you're doing, or something to that effect. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe you
the
do.
demand
Maybe.
is there, and you can fulfill the demand, and that is the business.
Yep. Well, I've said this. Like I look at things for the maximum amount of leverage I can possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
What I realize is accolades, in one sense, don't matter. They're nice, but they don't matter. Respect of your peers. Also, really, it's very nice. Don't get me wrong. But ultimately, doesn't matter either. What does is, are you doing what you want to do? Can you make a living doing it? Right? In the art business, that's really all that matters. We're not doing this for approval from everybody else. We're doing this for ourselves. If that's the case, then what we're actually going for, folks, isn't approval. Right? We're going for, oh, there it is. I do have a yellow in there. Cool. It hid from me. My yellow is hiding, so I borrow another one. That's all right. So that's what matters. The rest is nice. That's kind of how I look at it. It's like, it's nice.
It's gravy, dude.
Yeah. Now some people, they'll look at me and say, how can you see it like that? And the answer is because I like money.
I was getting interviewed for the EMT position, and they were like, well, this is a hard job. What's going to motivate you to keep coming in? And I reflected on that, and I'm like, well, you know, my current and last job has been at Starbucks, and if Starbucks asked me that question, I would need to think of an answer, because I'm not motivated to come on in. I just kind of do it. But with something like EMT or being a farmer or being an artist, these are all parts of my personality. I don't need to be motivated to just go do something that is a form of self-expression. And like, I don't really see my side hustle or my gig or my career as a job. I see it as an outlet for me.
Yep.
And thus I don't need motivation. I am grateful to have a venue to express myself.
Yeah, that's cool.
And like, that's what you were talking about. It's not about the accolades. It's not about the respect of your peers. It's about doing what you enjoy doing and getting it done, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
The rest of it doesn't. Nothing else really does. The rest of it sounds nice. It sounds nice. But honestly, I don't care anymore.
Let's be real here.
Yeah. That's it. Like, let's be real. Like, are you going to lose sleep if you hate what I do? Probably not. And if you do, that's fantastic. You'll pay me more money. That's kind of how I look at it. That might sound incredibly cynical, but that's just how the world works. It's like, cool. I made you feel something. That was my job.
That was the reaction.
I did it. So here you go. So.
I need it to look like it's moving. And it's getting there, but it's just a little too messy.
It's not quite there.
It needs to be more like shifting light and not like hair that has been dyed rainbow.
So then, if you want, so why don't you give the light a shape, like a silhouette of the shape? You eliminate the whole hair thing that way when you do that. Like for example, you have like kind of like a beak you almost have a beak thing at the end, right? Like at the tips. So why don't you emphasize that? Why don't you give that a face?
You mean like here?
Yeah. If you give that a face, even like an eye or a mouth or something, suddenly it don't look like hair. It looks like a really kick-ass firebird flying in space.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
That was the missing element. There were supposed to be bodies attached to these things. You are right. Thank you so much.
No problem. These are just the thoughts of a guy who kind of knows what he's doing.
He kind of knows what he's doing. How's it feel to be like, I talk with these artists and they like my advice?
It's actually kind of humbling. Well,
what?
Like, okay, so my biggest guest, on this show, like I said, her first gig was Avatar: The Last Airbender. So there's and she gave me one hell of a compliment, like a really big compliment actually. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, that was surreal.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty much it. Like, yeah, I found my missing pencil crayon. This life is good today.
You found your missing what?
Pencil crayons. Life is good today.
Yeah, congratulations.
Here, I'll give you a quick update to show you kind of what I'm doing here with this.
Couch this part up real quick.
So Porn Stash has depth.
Tilt it a little bit. Did you say depth?
A little bit more depth. The world.
I see texture. Yeah. I see a bit more texture here. That is a really texturized porn stash.
That is.
Is there a character out in front of it?
Yes, that's Link.
That is Link. Okay, it's the glare. It's just cutting it off. But I am seeing the green and the silhouette that looks like Link.
Yeah.
2 thumbs way up, dude.
Yeah. See? Now, I gotta find my pencil sharpener so I can actually sharpen these. So I'm going through my green like crazy right now. Yeah, but
excuse me for a second.
No worries. She is back tormenting the hounds of justice here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things you get to go in and kind of just look at some things and go, hey. No, like I said, I definitely am improving. There's some things that I gotta work on, but and I'll tell you about the other possibly really good news off the air.
Okay, I'm ready.
I said off the air, not on the air. I got 2 bits of news I've been keeping to myself. Until next week. One of them is next week. So my show turns 9 years old in 2 weeks.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 9 years old.
You're saying 9, right?
Yeah.
Your show.
Yeah.
The one that we're in right now.
Hold on. Is it 8 or is it 9? 8 or 9.
How is that possible, dude?
You just do it every day. 1 round, 1 punch, 1 go, man. That's how it works. So, do I tell the world here? I could do that here. We'll make this here. Just keep it between us, because every time by the time people listen to this, they'll know. So my guess, so on September 15th, it's going to be the official celebration of my birthday. I have 2 guests. The first is in the evening, is Christopher Russell. Christopher Russell writes a great fantasy series. It's actually one of the best indie fantasy series I've read. Divinity Twilight's awesome. If you like steampunk, like epic fantasy, and you got it's really good. You'll love this. Now, the other guest the other guest, is a young adult author, a well-known young adult author. She's done books like Cinder. She's done books like Supernova. She's currently doing a series right now. Marissa Mayer is my big guest on September 15th.
Okay. Okay, dude.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes. Like that's it's like and I one person I told off the air one of the shows, like, how'd you get her? It's like, I asked.
Yeah, right.
Would
you believe she's a human being and would probably say yes to just chatting with another human being?
Well, yeah, here's the thing, right? With like big young adult authors and big authors in general, they just want to know they're not going to be like they're not going to be mistreated on the show. That's basically all they care about, right?
I didn't
what are we going to talk about?
Want to give theirs. Does that
like
happen
I'm not afraid to talk about anything. You're very well aware of that. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily going to go out of my way to put anybody in an awkward position either. So it's like, you want to talk? We can talk. But if you don't, that's fine too.
That's right? What is happening to these poor authors?
Because again, that she's well known, so it's like one of the big things, you become very guarded by who you associate with for whatever reasons.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make sure that whoever's going on the air isn't going to just try to take advantage of them, and that's honest. That's honest. Like you deal with really successful. I've interviewed some really successful authors, and they're a lot more guarded than, say, our authors getting started. And one of the reasons, and I realized this very early on, it's like they're so used to people asking for things from them. Just asking or taking or going or any of those things, and it's like all like, I got to talk to Kelly Armstrong about Borderlands, the game, video game Borderlands.
Dude, sick.
Yeah, right. So I got to do that. Now Kelly's kind of neat person in herself, but all of which to say though is, like, very easily, like very very easily, she she's not as guarded as some of the other ones I've dealt with, but a lot of them are. And there's a reason, because they've made it. It's very hard to make it in this business. And that natural inclination when someone's from the outside looking in is, well, how did you do it? How did you do it? I didn't. And sometimes people try to take from people too. And I've seen it. And it's like, it's a part of human nature. So you just develop a thicker skin as a result of it. So when you're coming in to go, hey, can I give an interview? It's like, well, what do you want? It's like, well,
yeah.
What do you want?
Just want to talk.
Like, well, just a conversation. We might bullshit about something. I don't know.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, that's pretty much all the secrets of my ear. It's like, I don't choose very much the directions. I talk about what I give a damn about, and that's usually where I start. But if you go into me, hey, listen, I want to talk about brownies, like the food. Right, I want to talk about brownies. Okay, we can talk about brownies. I'm cool with that. I mean,
is that an option? I'll talk about brownies. Oh shoot!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, never mind. I'm good.
And as you can see, I'm definitely not hungry right now. Now I'm thinking about food and stuff like that. Just yeah.
Brownies are just what everybody talks about.
Ice cream's what everybody talks about, but brownies is like, okay, brownies are cool. You can come.
No, ice cream is what people will fuck you up over. Brownies are a safe conversation.
So, if I do that ice cream truck thing, are you gonna want to see pictures?
Yeah. Before and after.
Well, if you get,
I want to see the person who beats you up.
Well, are you kidding? It'd be an army of little kids.
Just a group of them.
Yep, just like the angriest 4-year-olds you've ever seen in your life. Just.
I mean, fair. Look at what you've promised them. Look at what you did not deliver.
Well, that's just it, right? I promised ice cream. It's like, you promised ice cream.
You're absolutely right, kid. I'm so sorry.
What's that? The thing about kids, they can surprise you, right? They can hit you below the belt and you not expect it.
Uppercut to the nuts.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they can just hit you. Like, I didn't think you could do that. Oh yeah, I am.
Just watch.
And in fact, I did this. This thing, I could see this. Like, a parent comes like, you can't do that to him. He promised me ice cream. He came in an ice cream truck. He didn't have ice cream.
You can do that to him.
Parent hears the music. Okay, I can't be mad at my kid. Keep beating his ass, son. Here.
Yeah. This is just how the world works.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. So this one is a bit more finished. Are you looking at the screen?
Yes.
And it's closer to finish. It's not anywhere near finished, but it's closer. There's a person there at the end. It's still, never mind. I think I know what the problem is. Hold on.
Okay.
There was a time back in like middle school, high school, college where people would give me criticism and I'd be like, that's great. You don't actually know what you're talking about, but thank you. And now it's just very odd to you were at that point in your career, you Josh, where an artist is being like, hey, I actually give a shit about what you think.
Yep. Well, thanks. Thanks, I guess.
If you say so, Shani.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what I did, but thank you. I'm going to sharpen these bad boys up when this episode's finished, but I will show you the final round of this. It's like what I did, how I did it, and give people the impression. Do I know what I'm doing, or don't I know what I'm doing? I'll let you decide.
Stay tuned and find out.
No, I don't. Shh.
Let me spoil that surprise for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just so excited to finally get started on this.
Yeah, I getcha. I'm pretty happy I did this. I needed to do something like this. Like, I have a plan. I now know what scenes I'm going to do from this game that I'm going to homage/steal from.
The Link game that you're doing right now? Like, obviously, yeah. But you're go on.
So one of my brilliant ideas about comic books, it occurred to me that streaming is actually a very interesting way to convey dialogue. Right?
Like,
you could actually tell a story on a stream.
Yes.
So in a world where technology is huge and gaming would be a big part of your deal, playing a game, homaging a game would be kind of sweet. So I think I figured out the scene I'm going to homage, although I did a nicer, fuller version of the scene, which, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Pornstache Tree.
Are you showing right now?
Yeah, I'm going to show. Yeah, sure. I'm going to show the final version of this.
Let's see Pornstache.
It's all got the green kind of thing going there. Might add some
I could add some little details. The glare is so difficult.
What?
The glare is so difficult here.
I'm sorry. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I can do something about that. Hold on a sec. I'm going to try something.
I want to see this piece.
Let's try something out. The sun. Ugh. When in doubt, change the light composition of the room. So,
duh.
Does that work?
It's a bit better. Yeah. Okay. All right. It reminds me of the Lord of the Rings.
Got a bit of that feel.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And the nose. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
killing me, kid.
I'm trying to kill you. It's good. Is it working?
That looks like a tree.
Yeah. It's supposed to be. Giant tree stash. Iconic scene in the game very early on.
If I had played the game more, I would probably have more feedback on it. Yes.
You'd be like, not enough this, not enough that, and it's like, yeah, it's okay.
You know what? What can I look up to?
Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Okay. Legend of Zelda. Followed by tree.
I can't remember what the tree is absolutely called.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the porn stash is within the tree.
Yes.
The base is wider.
Yes.
The eyebrows. Yeah. This is an iconic scene.
Yes, it is.
Will you please do iconic scenes from Colossus? There's so many.
I know there is. The other game I considered was Okami.
I don't think I've played it.
Oh my gosh.
Stop!
No.
Okay, you don't have to stop. Oh, yeah. My buddy used to make all these drawings of them. Yeah, I know who that is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The whole game, you use paint as a weapon. It's like something just tell me you would actually secretly dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd secretly dig it. So I thought about it, but I thought, you know what? Zelda's very recognizable, right? I can do a knockout. I can do the scene like this. I can do this, and not actually say it is from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I can change because it'll be in black and white. It's like
sorry.
Yeah. Like a little chill down your spine as a year from now. Nintendo sues Pantaleresco over Legend of Zelda. Which life like? Well, Nintendo just are beating my ass now. So.
I'm so glad we recorded that.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, listen. It's one of those things you understand. Like you're gonna do it. You're gonna take some risk, and that's why I'm a big enough boy to acknowledge this, right? Right. I'm big enough boy. Hey, if I'd be lying to you now, it's a homage. It is a homage. Like the whole book's a homage, so it's not like so it fits, but at the same time, it's like I said, I wouldn't try this with a Disney game. Like Disney's just mean.
Yeah. Which is why you should do Shadow of the Colossus. So many people do art of them, and they're fine.
It's a cool game. I'm not going to deny it. It's a cool game. Although if I want to do something like that beautiful, the other one I would actually do would be Ni no Kuni. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Now I gotta look it up again.
Yeah,
you got me in my cell phone.
Yeah, it's
Nino.
N-I-N-O, but they're separate, and then Kuni's K-U-N-I, and it's the first game. This is a White Witch.
Oh, that's very Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, it is Ghibli. They did make this game.
Yeah. Yep. God, their style is so
awesome.
Identifiable.
Yep. That's why they're so successful. Yeah, they have a style. That's nice. That's what it comes down to, right? There's no magic secret to I talk about this a lot. It's finding your story, whatever that story is. One of the big risk I take with my art is that I stand out. But the advantage to that is if I do hit, it's going to be a home run. Like it's going to be a home. It's not even a question. It's a home run. Because if I hit, no one else is out there. Right? That's the one thing. Right. That's the thing about me. Now the thing is, but the risk is, strike 3, you're out. And I'll be arguing with the umpire. It was a ball. I swear to God, it was a ball. Strike. Oh, strike.
Nah, dude. Like, how many? It takes so many swings to get the right one. But so long as you're swinging for you, whenever you hit that right one, it's going to be you. You know?
Oh, I know. Absolutely. It's gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel the crack on the bat. It's gonna be like, that was a good
one. And then people are gonna. It's gonna be a gold mine. They're gonna look at your stuff and be like, "Where has this guy been?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. A lot of people have always said like you're going to be successful. It's like, well, that's cool, but I'd like to see it now because I have other cool shit I want to do, but regardless, you got it. Yeah, again, it's not about hitting 100% every day. It's about going out there and doing your thing every day. That's all there is. I mean, it's not rocket science. Just
it's the habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simplicity is not ease. That's not easy. I think it was you that said this one of our first conversations. I think it was you I said this to. I could be wrong. You make it sound so easy. I could have swore it came out of you once. Could have sworn.
I probably said that. Yeah, dude, you make it sound so easy.
Yeah, and I went back to you. It's like, no, it's not easy. It's simple. There's a difference, right?
Right. Yeah.
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 There's a difference. The easiest thing to do in the world is nothing. But here I am, out in the world, episode 851 of Just Joshing with the one and only Shani O.
And this is a rather simple process. You're just talking and recording it and uploading it, but it's the doing it every day.
Or not quite every day, but doing it enough that it's people are aware you're out there and people are aware you're doing it. And it's very fun to watch. Like I said, it's also kind of fun too because I get these insights with art. Like I said, I mentioned this at the beginning with that person. I was so like anecdotal evidence. Like you can literally see my recordings of me doing these things. I'm not speaking anecdotally at all. You can actually watch these things if you want.
Right.
It's not anecdote anymore. It's like it's kind of hard to dismiss somebody when they actually. It's like no, I do it all the time. See,
I promise you. You go ahead. It's 8 years worth.
Yeah. Indeed. In the last 2 years, I've doubled my podcast output.
And more to come, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to hit 1,000. I am going to hit 1,000 next year. That is for sure. So, will I hit 2,000? I don't know. Like that's
eventually,
if I want to. That's the thing. Like, will I want to hit 2,000? Like 1,000's cool, but do I want to hit 2?
Define profit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's also the thing too. Like, well, there's a point too, and I think that's just everything. Is there's a time for everything too. Now, maybe I do. Maybe I do hit 2,000, but I do it in a different way than what I'm doing now. Because I don't see myself doing 1,000 more like this exactly. I just don't. Right? I just don't. But could I see myself do 1,000 more in different ways? Maybe. Part of the challenge is the growth. When you stop growing, this is when you have to start changing. Like, guys, that's when you go walk away. I mean, that's what you did. You decided that I do not want to grow this way I'm growing, so I'm going to pick this direction. And you seem, at least, a lot happier for it.
It's the progress that I want to see in something that has been waiting for me for a very long time.
Yeah.
And, like, it's kind of the promise that you make to any kind of project. Like, I promise I will get to you, not today, not tomorrow, but I will. Will you wait for me? Right? And I believe that things either wait for you or they don't, and somebody else takes your idea. I was gonna write that, and so you gotta fulfill, and like that felt more important to me than making somebody's Christmas portrait. And so it doesn't look like the success that some people would see, but I made a promise to this project years ago, decades ago. And it's time to fulfill.
Okay, I have a decades-long promise I want to make up. See, my grandmother in Detroit, I promised her when I was. I think you'll pop up the story, and then we'll wrap it up. My grandmother like loves diamonds. Like it says, so when I was like 8, 9 years old, I promised I would buy her diamonds. So one day, this is back in the days when cereals actually had cool toys in them, not the crap they have now.
5-carat diamonds, yeah.
Well, what? Not quite.
2002.
This was pull out a bracelet, and there was all these little like diamond stickers and stuff like that. I actually made it for her and gave it to her. Yeah.
How old are you?
I was like 11 years old when I did that.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
Yeah. No. So I made myself a promise I'd get her diamonds. So, but the thing is, she is approaching 86 years old. So I've had this promising me for decades. So because I know she won't listen to this, I'm playing the next time I see her, whenever that is. I do plan it next year. She's like, I don't know if I got another year. It's like, and we were talking earlier today. She's joking on one hand. It's like, I'm too mean to go to die right now. And I started laughing at that. And then she goes next minute, it's like, I don't know if I'm going to make it another year. It's like, didn't you just say you were too mean to die? You can wait long enough for me to come visit. Right? Then you
because you're going to bring her diamonds.
I want to do it. I get the feeling that if I do not do that opportunity, right, I may miss it. And I really hate not keeping my promises. I really do. My grandfather, last time I talked to him, I promise, like it was like, I could tell, like I had a hunch last time I saw him before he went, that might be the last time I see him. Something inside me said it might be the last time. There was a chance that I might get another chance. So that Christmas, I talked to him, and I talked about, getting together, playing cards. It's like, and it just made him very happy. And I didn't get to keep that promise. He passed about 3 weeks later. He passed. And the thing is, it's like, and the part of me is like, I think promises matter. I really do. But I think the promises that matter are the ones you, and sometimes it's not your fault you can't keep them, but I damn sure try to keep every one of them I have. I made a promise when I was with my teachers, like when I got published. I would go to all my high school teachers and my grade school teachers, and I would give them a copy of my book. I did that. I actually did that. I meant it. And it says more about a person. Like I said, we all make a lot of promises in our lives, but I realized, like, you know what? Your words are really your bond. What you say goes. So you have to make it count. It's one of the only ways to build your esteem too, I find, is when you say it and you mean it. That's when you actually just build the foundations of like who you are.
Yeah. What you prioritize defines you. Yeah. And that goes into the promises that you make, the promises that you keep, and how many of those you do keep.
So sometimes, well, no, it's important. It's a funny thing. Like, I don't mention basketball in here out there, but a story I heard about LeBron James, I actually believe it. The hardest thing to get LeBron to do is commit to a promise. He just doesn't. It's very hard to get him to say, I'm absolutely going to make this happen. But if you do, he does. Yeah. And that's why it's so hard. And that's why it's so hard to get him to say yes. Because if he says it, he feels he has to do it.
Absolutely.
And, yeah. So
which is why no is so powerful.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No is ridiculously powerful. So is yes. They're both incredibly powerful. We underestimate yes because, again, we tend to overload ourselves and destroy our confidence when we don't follow through. But then we learn to say no. But the reason we say no is because that's when we learn who we are. Like I said, it's those boundaries. They're so healthy. And that's just it.
Where you end and the obligations of the world begins.
Yes.
Like what part of the world do you want to interact with? And no defines that.
Yeah, exactly. No is very powerful. So yes. But I mean, and you got to use those correctly. So yeah, it's a promise I really want to keep. So I'm going to try to keep it next year.
You're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're a man of your word, dude.
Oh, I certainly try. I try. Sometimes I screw up, and I always feel terrible when I do. But like, that's the thing; it matters to me.
Yeah.
On that note,
Yes.
We've gone 2 hours, Miss Shani, or just about.
This is it. Hey, we kind of cut it off early because we always tend to go later.
No, you didn't say that this time. You didn't say that this time. You say almost. So for folks watching, listening, with the exception of last episode she came on the show, that was different. We decided not to draw because that was a little bit more of her. I feel like. Well, I decided that when I was listening to the conversation, she's not really in a drawing mood because the last 2 conversations prior to this have been me kicking your ass a little bit because it's been because there's been like come to Jesus meetings, right? It's like, hey, I don't want to be here long. Necessary. Yeah, and so the last one was definitively like you being honest with where you were. And the one prior to that is like me going, nah, this isn't where you are. So it's like between then and now you actually had that little thing. So the last one didn't count, but every other one, folks, she goes to me off the air. I only got an hour. It's like,
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's never not gone this way. So yeah, it's like okay, hours all I expect of any guest, but after that, it's like it goes where it goes, but it never goes that way. It goes 2 hours and a bit, and usually that's where we go, and that's where we end up. So,
and then we usually end up talking for like 45 minutes after the air because there's always more to talk about.
Always. But on that note, I think we have an interview. We did a drink and draw. So Miss Shani, I don't know if you want to promote anything or not. That's you're in a kind of an odd spot there, I think.
The pure part of art is if people see it and they like what they see and it helps them or they feel something from it in a day, then I've done my job. I've added to the quality of their life. And if folks want that, then I have work available. Feel free to peruse if you want. If not, I'm going to keep drawing either way. So I hope you like what you see or have a beautiful day.
So that sounded lovely, except for you neglected one small detail.
My website is theartbard.com. That is the Bard of Art, not the Art Barn, theartbard.com. You can find my work there. You can reach out to me at theartbard@gmail.com. And I'm also Shani the Art Bard on Instagram. But all of those links are on my website, theartbard.com.
There it goes. Give me a second here.
Yeah, no worries.
I was a little worried there for a second.
No.
And I might. No, I went to go type up and it's like, oh, there it goes.
No, my computer's still active, friends. It's all there.
Oh, there it goes. Hold on a second here. Am I still there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. It just moment there. It's still kind of doing its thing.
It'll show up, I'm sure.
No, it's there. First off, folks, give it a second here. My computer is saying all kinds of wonderful things to me right now. It's like, there it goes. There it goes. Trained professional.
Boom.
Yes.
That's my website, friends.
Yes, it is. It is your website. So, on that note.
Oh no, Josh, we've lost you. Or maybe I'm lost. Oh no. Oh, hello, welcome back. Ish.
There, am I there?
You're there.
Yes, my computer is starting to have some issues here, so we're going to wrap this up as quickly as I possibly can. Oh, I'm sure we'll find other ways. It's like, haha. Like, It doesn't want me to leave, but then it actually does. It does. Here's my. Oh, I love how it did that. That was fantastic. That is a wonderful, wonderful way of doing that. I am almost a trained professional, ladies and gentlemen. I solemnly swear I don't know what I'm doing.
It's just technical issues. If he wasn't a pro, he wouldn't have technical issues. He wouldn't have any issues. This is all just part of it.
Yeah, it's all learning process. There you go. That's the right page. So, you guys, if you want to check out me branding your project or yourself, you can definitely just so here. Check this out. I've had some pretty cool clients so far. I do videos, audios, words, and pictures about your brands, and more importantly, yourselves. Let me help you get your work out there. And that will do it. Now, next week is going to be a very Kickstarter-y, comic-centric week. I got some really cool guests coming up, lined up. But for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. And I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, y'all.